Hey everyone, it's me. It's Fran. You're gonna hear chomping noises because I'm eating the best chocolate almond croissant. Yep, here it is. It's just me because Mag can't be here. So you're gonna hear me chewing because I'm not gonna mute myself because there's no other person to fill in the gaps. And no one to police my non-funny jokes. Anyway, long story short, Meg can't be here. She's doing stuff. And so here's the story. We recorded this episode last Sunday, but my mic wasn't connected properly to the Zoom. Oh my God, everyone's probably so grossed out by the sounds coming from my mouth. Yeah, my mic wasn't connected to the Zoom. So we recorded like 80 minutes of audio, and my laptop mic is so bad that my half of the audio was not salvageable. So it was pretty bad. I tried, and I was like, after half an hour recording, just like 10 minutes, I was like, after half an hour for like editing for 10 minutes, 10 minutes of audio, I was just like, this is fucked up. We have to redo it. So today was when we were supposed to redo it, but Meg can't do this weekend at all, and I already had Jack help me record a separate podcast to fill in that gap. So listen to that podcast if you haven't yet. It's called I'll sip the tea before I spill the tea, which is pretty fucking awesome. But yeah, now you're just gonna hear me fucking blather on solo. This is gonna be a hodgepodge episode. So the first half is sort of like a response to what Jack and I talked about, where so his podcast was like, I scoured, those like articles on like women's magazines, which are like titled questions women are too scared to ask men. We got men to answer them for you. So I thought it would be interesting / funny / revealing to have Jack, one of my really good friends, answer it. So, and then this one, Meg and I were supposed to like respond to that with sort of like questions guys are too afraid to ask women, but Meg can't answer it. So now you just have me representing the entire female sex. That's not accurate because there's so many variations. Like, yeah, basically it's like what straight cis guys are afraid of asking straight cis women. But anyway, I'm gonna try to answer it. Again, I didn't come up with these questions. Some of them are really, questionable and outdated. Wow, I'm literally just talking to myself because like I'm just talking to my face here. So literally talking to myself. Okay, but before we dive in, I'm gonna go into how my week was. Yeah, it was pretty tiring. I had Monday off, and I had the 2 days before July 4th off too. So you would think I would be like refreshed and rejuvenated. And partially I was. Like I hung out with some friends, socially distant. But I don't know, maybe it was just a combo of like cramming all the work into 4 days this week and just my routine being thrown off, whatever it was. Like yeah, it just made it feel like I was working. Like on Thursday it felt like the 6th day of the week that I was working. And I'm also a little burned out. I do a lot, and I'm gonna talk to my therapist about it because a lot of these projects that are outside of work I'm really passionate about. They're mostly acting related, but then some but then with those projects, I could maybe take a break and not do them every week. And then there are some that are just like self-development stuff, like book club, or like TV analyzing club, which I guess is also acting related. But like, do I need to do that every single week? I love doing them every single week, but I'm burned out. And it's weird to be burned out when I'm in one place a lot of the time. So, yeah. And I'm okay. So by the way, I'm feeling really shitty right now, like emotionally. So this might not be a fun podcast. Just a warning. Um, yeah. And I'm also exhausted right now because when I get really sad and depressed, I not only get that emotionally, but I also get really low, physically. So I'm super low energy. I took a walk to see if that would help. And then I bought a croissant. That was the worst one. Like, it was not even the one. I got the ones with the most flavor, almond and chocolate, and like powdered sugar on top. Like, I didn't even get the plain one. Like, I just went for the one that would make me feel better the most, but temporarily. That's how I feel. So I guess we should just dive right in. Okay, let me just pull up these questions. Okay, so here we go. First one. Why do women go to the bathroom together? And does anything noteworthy tend to happen in those ladies' room meetings? It depends. Well, I personally don't like going to, like, if I'm actually going to the bathroom for business. Oh, by the way, if for people who can't see, I also bought a decaf oat latte because things are bad when I'm getting a decaf oat latte instead of a regular oat latte. Which the guy put too much simple syrup in, but first world problems. Well, if I'm actually going to the bathroom to actually do bathroom stuff, like if I need to just like shit or pee, or just like wash my hands or like change my tampon, if that's what I'm going there for, I do not want other women with me. In fact, when I go into the bathroom and then I encounter someone who wants to talk to me, I'm just like, fuck, like I just want to pee and or shit or change my tampon and get out of here. I just want to floss in peace if I'm flossing. Like, I want to check out my teeth in the mirror without someone like talking to me. So in that sense, like, it's not all the time that women go to the bathroom together. But if they really need to discuss something, and usually these things are like on the fly, like you can't tell in a certain social situation when that need would arise. So like if, for example, if you were at a dinner party and I don't know, you were at a dinner party and then like your ex was there and you thought they were like, if you thought like you had enough closure there, but then you think that he might be giving you signals to rekindle things, and you're not sure. You might pull like a couple of your girlfriends is like, hey girls, do you wanna go to the bathroom? Or like maybe you've given them like an unspoken signal, and they can kind of tell, like women can kind of tell when another woman like needs to talk or whatever. And then usually that would be the meeting, like because they didn't plan the meeting, but there's this need to like discuss, like, hey, is it just me, or like is he into me? And you just need a couple other women to like kind of bounce off ideas off of. I guess I think that's noteworthy. That's huge. I don't know, but those meetings could be about anything. I don't know. Or like if you're just really emotional about something and you need someone to, like, the bathroom is a really great place to like not, because usually you don't get privacy in a lot of places, like maybe work or, if you're emotional in a public place, the bathroom is a great place to cry. And if you're like the kind of person who needs a shoulder to cry on and not just be alone on the toilet, it helps to have, a couple of your gal pals to go in there with you. Yeah. Oh my god, this is so sad that I'm just talking to myself. Anywho, okay, the next question. How frequently do girls masturbate? It depends. Depends, and it depends on a lot of factors. Depends on what cycle they are in the month. I know, like, like horniness can be impacted by so many different things. It can be like if you're taking birth control, if you have some sort of emotional disorder, or like, if you're taking medicine for like mental health disorder, that could affect your libido. If you're emotional about something else, like if you're going through something else in your life, like so many things. But if we're talking like a typical, like if nothing's wrong, which is rare for me, but if nothing's wrong, like usually I tend to be more horny like a few days before, like let's say a week before and a week after, like my period. Which, like, if you do research that, like hormonally, like the hormonal cycles, that makes sense. But it also just depends on like um actually not even how long I've been without it, because like I haven't had it in maybe like 9 months. I haven't done it in 9 months, and I haven't really masturbated that. You would think quarantine would make me do it more. But no, my libido has actually gone down during quarantine, and it's except for when I'm on my period, or like around my period. Even during my period, it's highest then. Yeah, so it really depends on the person. It really does. Um, and also like I don't know about you, but there's also like, I don't know, I grew up religious. I was raised Christian, so there's that guilt remnants of guilt still there when you masturbate. Like, it's hard to like it's become habitual to be like, oh, whenever I do this, like God is judging me. So, and like just sex is just such a taboo topic, especially, I mean, with women already in general, like it's pretty taboo, but add that layer of religion to it that I grew up with. And it's like just hard to like outgrow that. And I'm working on it. So yeah, but again, some women masturbate more than others. Okay, next question. Does a wedding ring on a guy stop you from flirting? It consciously stops me from flirting. Like I watch myself more. But I think there is a way to flirt, like that is not that both parties know. It's just, I don't know, if it's someone in the office, like your work husband, whatever you want to call that person. There's there is a way to be like, for you to be both in agreement that's like, oh, we're just enjoying like jabbing each other, and this is not going to go past the office. It's if you both are like very mature and solid in your existing relationships, if you have one, or like if you're single and the other guy's married, and you're both just solid in your understanding of that, and you like trust each other. This is all unspoken. I feel like this all just, you just kind of get the vibe from the other person. I think even with friends too. um and I don't even, it's not just if the guy's married, if he's in a relationship and you're friends with the guy, sometimes you just have a flirtatious nature between you two. Like you can't help it because that's like the chemistry. But if you both are just mature and understanding, um then there's a way to flirt without risking that, like crossing that line. People might shoot me for that, but yeah, but consciously I stop myself. If I see that a guy has a wedding ring, I'm not going to purposefully like, intentionally flirt with a person. But if they're giving vibes, I might like subconsciously give vibes back, because like the human nature. But I'm not going to intentionally be like, yeah, my goal is like to eventually hook up with this guy. Like, no. I wouldn't be interested in the answer to that the other way, because I've heard that sometimes at the bars or whatever, a wedding or engagement ring doesn't stop some guys. Yeah, I'd be interested. Okay, do girls honestly like the nice guys? Why do you always go for bad guys? If you're truly a nice person, like if you truly just care about my I like nice. I'd rather have a nice guy. Are you kidding me? Ugh, like I've been no, yeah, I'd rather have a nice guy. But if you're truly a nice guy, like if you don't have any ulterior motives other than like you really care about me as a person, and I'm gonna give you an example. Like I'm not gonna talk. Okay, well, there was this one dude in my life who like we were friends, but I'm putting it in quotes because like we were only friends because he was friends with other people who were also my friends, and we only hung out like when we were all together and not just him and me. And I think for some reason he got the idea that we were closer than we were, and he started getting feelings for me. To the point where like he would comment, like he was a nice guy, or that's how he seemed. But where I sort of started feeling that he wasn't nice is when he started commenting on like my relationships. Like whenever I would express like, oh man, this guy I'm seeing is like really is doing this thing that's really annoying to me, and it's like, what do I like? I would just like be complaining about something that the guy I was seeing was doing, and he would say things like to the in the vein of like, you shouldn't go out with that guy, he's not right for you. Like he kept making comments on that thread instead of helping me navigate that issue. And the way he was saying it implied, like you just kind of got that sense, implied that he was kind of saying like, don't go for that guy, go for me because I'm a nice guy. Like not only was he criticizing my judgment of my relation with how I pick relationships, but he was also saying like, I'm right here for you. Kind of like Pretty in Pink, kind of like Ducky. Like Ducky is a nice guy up to the point, and that point is when he starts going like, why are you interested in that guy? Be interested in me. It's like not trusting the woman to like have her own judgment. If that's the kind of nice guy, quote unquote nice guy you are, then no, that's the kind of nice guy that I'm not interested in. But if you're a nice guy who actually just truly cares about my feelings and like trusts me to be an independent self-starting woman, then yes. And yeah, that's my answer to that. Yes, I would love to have to be in a relationship with a truly nice guy. And then the second half of this question is like, why do I go for bad guys? Because they're hot. I don't like going for bad guys, but usually bad guys like have, oh, it's not a PC term. What's another word for big dick energy? But anyway, they usually have big dick energy, and sometimes it gets to me, man. I like, that's one of my resolutions. Not for the year, I meant like just a self-development thing. It's like, don't go for the, like, try to question when I start getting drawn to the bad guy with a big dick energy who's really hot and who's obviously a player. Like, which I feel like a lot of women can relate to this. But yeah, that's something I'm consciously like, I like trying to be intentional about, especially when I go back out there, start dating. But yeah, that's the answer. I mean, they just have the energy. So if I met a nice guy with like who's confident but is not a dick, like yeah, the ideal. What's your answer? That's really a no-brainer. Do girls find it attractive if a guy claims to have a lot of options? Yes. Oh, find it attractive. Oh, I thought I said find it not attractive. No, I don't find it attractive. Ew. I do not want to know that I'm like number 4 in a guy's rotation of 10. Like, no, I would not find it attractive. And also I would feel horrible. Um, who asked this? Who's the guy who asked this? Fuck. Oh God. Okay. Can we split the bill? I actually prefer it if we split the bill. Like it just makes me feel, it's actually purely selfish. Just makes me feel better that I'm not making someone pay for me when I'm able to pay for myself. I have a steady job, full-time job. But I think it depends on your finances. Like if you're making way less than your partner, then, or like the person you're dating, then maybe they would pay for the lion's share. Like maybe they would pay for the meal, you pay for the tip, they would pay for, I don't know, you would pay for the appetizer, he pays for the mains and the drinks. I don't know, like however you want to divvy it up. I understand that. Or like if you both have an agreement that like it makes sense for the guy to pay for the meals and you pay for other things maybe that you do on other dates, maybe. But I don't know, if if the guy insists on paying for the entire meal, I would only feel comfortable with it for like the first 2 dates, and then I would be like, yeah, now I can pay for the next 2 because we need to get even. I don't know, I have this thing about being even. But even if you like, I also like trading off, like one meal he pays, one meal I pay, or like he bought me 2 drinks then, so then I'll buy you 2 drinks this time. I don't know. It's like, what, it doesn't have to be exact, but like as long as there's an mutual understanding that we both can provide for each other, for ourselves. Yeah. So the short answer is yeah. Do you expect us to always make the first move? No. In fact, I don't know. There was a point there in like my mid to late 20s where I was really the only one asking. I didn't even wait because like that waiting game was just so horrible. But now I'm back to like half waiting for the guy to ask me and then half me asking. Uh, but no, I think more and more women are getting more comfortable just asking the guy they're interested out. But it's not any less hard, like, because there's all this societal thing we like that's being pressured on us to be like, oh, don't chase the guy, don't look needy. And so of course that's still in the back of our heads. Um, but yeah, like if you like the guy, like just ask the guy. Um, and yeah, I've been rejected too. I'm like, I'm not acting like I'm expecting you to be surprised, of course. Like I'm not not a catch or anything. But yeah, so the short answer is no. We don't always expect you to make the first move, but would appreciate it if you did. Like, I wouldn't say I would take the work off my plate, but I guess that's how you guys feel when we come up to you. It's like, phew, find someone, she did it for me. Although caveat is like there are women who, like, I was talking to someone recently. I forget who. Was it a coworker? Was it I forget, maybe, I don't know, maybe someone in my class, but like when I asked her this question, she was like so shocked. She was like, no, the guy always has to ask. And I was like, oh, okay. And maybe because like, I don't know, I wish I could remember this person. Like, I guess if she was like extremely attractive, maybe she gets asked. She doesn't have any problem getting asked. But again, I don't want to assume, you know? But like for me, like I'm not going to wait around if I'm really like a guy. I don't know. Next question. I can go on for hours on that. But how common is it for women to lie about their orgasms? I can't speak for all women, although I've heard. But for me, not that I knowingly lie, you know, but if you're like in the heat of it and like nothing's happening for whatever reason, it may be like you're getting a mental block, maybe like it's just not the other person, like you guys just didn't spend enough time with foreplay. He, yeah, for whatever reason, you're just not close. Um, and either the guys keeps asking like, hey, are you almost there? Like, I don't want you to not get there, or they're like they've been pumping for like, or thrusting for like what feels like decades, even though it's only been a few minutes. But like sometimes you're just like, oh no, like there's so much pressure. But usually it's like if the guy is like pressuring you, like, man, I really want you to feel satisfied, like it would be a lot to me, it would mean a lot to me if you got there, like as a first reason my pleasure is like for them. um then yeah, I would lie. I'm like, I don't need to deal with this pressure. Like, yeah, I'll just pretend to have an orgasm. Because like, so yeah, a lot of the time for a lot of women, like sex isn't that easy. It's not like for guys, you know, like it takes us a little bit long. It takes a little bit more nuance for us. Again, it is not across the board. Like I know a lot of women who like get you know aroused very easily, but I'm not one of them. And sometimes just guys just don't know how to work with that. or they assume it's like a mental block, and I'm like, no, it's just, sometimes it is, but sometimes it just, my mechanisms are just not the same as everyone else's. Like maybe I need lube, or like maybe you need to do a little more, of other stuff. So yeah, there's like a whole slew of reasons why women lie about their orgasms, like knowingly or unknowingly, or so it's not like we want to, like we would love to have like orgasms like 100% every time, but at least for me that's like not always the case. So wow, that was revealing. Okay, what are your turn-ons? I guess like this means like what you notice in a guy physically. That's what I'm guessing, just knowing the track record of these magazines. But I'm also going to add like things that attract me, like not physically. um I hate being shallow, but physically it's usually someone who has dark hair. Yeah. I don't really I mean, I'm an equal opportunity person. Like whatever your hair color is, if I find you attractive, I find you attractive. But just looking at the past, it's usually been people with dark hair. So yeah, I guess that's one of the things I notice subconsciously. I don't even like look for it. I don't know. And then I guess, what else do I notice about a guy? Fuck. I'm trying to like think. Yeah, it's really the hair, dark hair, and like nice eyes. I really look at the face a lot. Like, I mean, the body, of course, like I would notice if you like are fit, but I've dated like a lot of different types of body types. That's not really the first thing I notice. It's like, yeah, usually like how dark your hair is, I'm guessing, because that's who most of the people I've dated. And like nice eyes and a nice smile. I don't know, not even a nice smile. Like, how like when you smile, like your eyes smile. If you have that eye smile and it has like a little secret in it, this is so specific. If you smile and your smile has a little secret in it, like something, yeah, that's pretty hot. Yeah. I mean, someone can just have a nice smile and they just have a nice smile. But if you smile at me and like I feel like you're trying to tell me something underneath, like even if you're not, if it looks like that to me, I'm just gonna fall for you right there. I'm kidding. I don't fall for people that easily, but yeah, I find that extremely attractive. And then like for non-physical things, number one is humor. It's closely tied with intelligence because like humor can also mean like slapstick, like butthole humor, and that I'm not a fan of. Like, no. But intelligent humor, like if you're and not someone who like says jokes all the time, but if you have like a good balance of like you know how to like find light in a dark situation, or like find light in things, not to put people down but to like um lift them up, and you just happen to be smart with your humor. Like if you have a smart sense of humor, that and you have a great, actually it laughs too, I like laughs as well, but that's tied to humor. And if you can laugh at my humor, that is a bonus. Like if you get my sense of humor, that's a bonus. Yeah, humor's number one. Close intelligence, close number two. Yeah, those are turn-ons. I mean, there are other ones, but that like goes with those are the like my first impression ones. Yeah. I know the question wasn't what are your turn-offs, but a turn-off is if you think you're all that. No, that's a turn off. Honestly, that's like the biggest one for me. Like if you think you're all that and that's how there's a difference between like confidence and you think you're all that, that you can't even deign to give people the light of day unless they're like match your standards. That is a huge turn off, and no, 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 no. This is dating. Hookups, okay, I'm trying to change that, but like I've slept with people, just casually hooked up with people who are horrible like that, and I regret it. And so yeah, so I was like, going forward, it's just no, I just will not talk to you. I mean, if I have to talk to you for work or something, yeah, but I no, I will not associate with you. Wow, that was got really heated. Yeah, that's it. Those are the list of questions. A little bit. It's not terribly exciting. I bet some of those questions you kind of like knew the answer to already, but you just needed a woman to confirm them. Well, there you go. Yeah, this is such a downer episode. Okay, we're gonna take a break and then we're gonna come right back. Okay, I'm back. Guess how I spent that break? I fucking washed dishes in the kitchen sink that weren't mine. Does anyone else really enjoy it that you only see the bottom of your sink once a month or something, or like twice a month, because the rest of the time it's filled with like 50 spoons that people don't just put in the dishwasher, just wash as a fucking spoon, and then like random like bowls that have been there for 3 days, 2, 3 days. Like, does anyone else enjoy that? Just me? Okay. Oh, and then like the kitchen sink drain. Anyone else really love just constantly emptying that with like the disgusting food you didn't even cook with your fingers, or is it just me? Because I really enjoy doing all of that. I told you this was gonna be a fucking downer episode. This is making me fucking mad, dude. Like, just put it in the fucking dish. If you're using a spoon and you see like there's like 10 spoons in the sink already, like some of those spoons have been there forever. It's a fucking spoon. Wash, rinse it, put it in the fucking dishwasher. And your fucking bowl that's been there for 2 days, like, I don't understand, dude. I don't know how many roommate meetings and like passive, not even passive aggressive, like pretty freaking direct text and comments. I don't care if any of them are going to be listening to this. Like, maybe they should. Fuck. My therapist is sick of hearing me talk about this. Jesus Christ. Like, how hard is it if you're going to cook? Like, fucking empty the kitchen sink catcher. I it's always literally do it every single time I'm in the kitchen. Like every single morning, I'm fucking cleaning that shit out. Fuck. On that note, let's the second half of this episode. Let me just start my timer. Love it, love it. Second half of this episode is, again, this is a hodgepodge episode. So this one I was supposed to do with Meg as a bonus app, but again, she's not here. So it's called like a Quickfire. Like, these are suggested by the internet of like, oh, here are Quickfire questions if you really need to like get to know your date really quickly. You don't want to go through all the niceties of like, what's your favorite sports team? You know what I'm saying? You know those like soul pancake YouTube videos where it's like they ask each other 36 questions, like to really get to the bottom of who you are. I don't know if it's scientific, but yeah, these are similar to that, and that these are the kinds of questions you would ask. Again, I didn't come up with these. I just randomly scoured the internet, and I didn't even prepare any answers, so we're gonna see what comes up. Because everyone's so interested in my answers are to these. Okay, first question. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you were going to say? Why? It depends on the phone call. Yeah, it depends on like if I'm literally just calling someone to like go, hey, just I'm here at the place we're meeting. I can't find you. Give me a ring when you get, or like, where are you? I mean, that kind of question, like purely functional calls of like, you just need to like logistically find someone or like discuss details, like, or like if, yeah, no, I don't rehearse those. Or like if you need to make a reservation, like you don't need to rehearse that. You know when your reservation is, for whom, for how many. Yeah, but if it's like, if I guess if you're doing like a phone interview or something like of that nature, which is like the stakes are super high, or you're like talking to someone really high, I don't know who that would be for me, but if you're talking to someone really high up for a thing, I don't know who that would be. Yeah, maybe if I'm like, if this ever happens, if like I have a call with a really big name casting director, I guess, yeah, maybe I would rehearse, not like word for word. You don't want to sound like a robot, but like the points you want to hit. Like, yeah, I would probably have the points I want to hit. I would be more likely to write it down though. But I will say that in the past, I used to have really bad, I still have social anxiety disorder, but it used to be really bad in the past before I had it. I started treating it, but I would really rehearse because I hated phone calls. Like they really scared me because I thought that whenever I was on them, the person on the line would judge me, the person around me would judge me for how I was talking, how I was doing it. So I would really rehearse it or avoid them altogether. But now I'm pretty comfortable on the phone. Yeah, but it took a lot of work, a lot of practice, like with anything. So yeah, I don't really rehearse even with like calls. Like I don't know, I used to be an office assistant and like I would need to make a lot of calls to like different like vendors and like people like that. And yeah, as long as you know what you're talking about, like as long as I knew what I was talking about, I didn't need to rehearse. And in fact, like I think they were more likely to like have a rapport with me because I sounded imperfect. So and vice versa. But yeah, I used to be bad, man. I used to be bad in the past. Whew, those were some rough times. When did you last sing to yourself, to someone else? Probably yesterday. I had watched Hamilton recently, and uh, yeah, satisfied was stuck in my head, so I was singing it to myself. I mean, I sing to myself a lot. I don't have a great. I wasn't doing it to practice. I was just, I don't know, things go stuck in my head, and I sing them to myself. To someone else, no, I don't sing to people unless I have to. Or if I was doing karaoke, which I can't right now, it makes me sad. Um, sad. Oh, I guess the last time you're asking for the last time. The last time I sang to someone else. I guess on like I was doing this like guitar challenge for myself of like I was learning guitar and sing along, but now I don't have access to a guitar. I will soon though. Again, but yeah, my roommate took his guitar back because he started learning it himself. I mean, it's his guitar. But anyway, I was teaching myself like some songs on the guitar, and so I recorded a few on Instagram. So that was like maybe 2 months ago. So 2 months ago, I started singing for other people. I enjoy it, but I mean, I'm could use some work, but it's not my main vocation, if you know what I mean. Okay. For what in your life do you do current? Oh wow, the grammar in this question is horrific. What they're saying is, for what in your life do you currently feel most grateful? I guess the people that have stayed connected with me, my friends, like, both like my friends like outside of acting and my friends in acting, through acting, throughout this whole pandemic thing. Like, it's easy to I'm sure it would have been easy to have lost touch with a lot of them, but yeah, they've stayed connected, and it's easy for me to lose touch with people. I just don't work as hard on relationships like that. So I appreciate that they like have kept going with me. Um yeah, that. And my job. I'm really grateful I have a full-time job. Oh my God, I could have easily just not have had a job if I didn't apply for this one that I have. So those are the two biggest things. Um yeah, and that I have, I mean, and related to that, that I have money to pay for food and like my rent. Like a lot of people don't have that. So super grateful. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life? Um that's hard to quantify or qualify, but yeah, being the person I am now. I know that sounds really trite, but I just used to not be confident in myself and what I can do in a lot of different areas of my life. And I still have areas that I need to work on, but like, I just didn't, if you asked me like when I was in high school, like 10, 11, 12 years ago, that I would be the person I am now, I would not have believed it, because I was so insecure and horrible to myself, and just didn't think I would get far anywhere. I just didn't have any ambition. I just had crippling anxiety. Yeah, it took a lot of work, but yeah, it took a lot of work on my part. And that's a huge accomplishment that I've gotten to where I am today. Um, yeah, the person who I am now, it's huge. Like, yeah, if you met me like 12 years ago, you would not think I was the same person. So yeah, like this, like talking to myself on a podcast, forget about it. No, I would have laughed at that, sadly laughed at that when I was 18. When did you last cry in front of another person? Literally today, but not in front of her, but I was like, I had to like make plans to meet up with her to pick up a guitar, the guitar I was talking about, because she was giving it away. And then I got into an argument with someone close to me, and it really, really hurt. And I hadn't cried about it yet. And then I left her a voice memo, and I was like, hey, can we reschedule? Long story short, I'm not in a good place at the moment, but I'd love to see you some other time. And as I was leaving the voice memo, I just started crying. I mean, I couldn't, because I kept it in the whole time. And so it came out. I didn't want it to. It came out in the voice memo, and she got worried, and I was like, I'm fine. But yeah, literally today. When did you last cry by yourself? Also today. Yeah, after I hung up with her, I cried some more because it just felt shitty, and I still feel like shit right now. I still feel really down, really, really down. I feel like shit, like literally shit. And it took all my willpower to not curl up in bed, because if I curl up in bed right now, I could just be in there for 5 hours not doing anything, and that's also not good. And actually talking about it, talking to a podcast to myself, to my fucking face, it feels actually really therapeutic. So yeah, today. Um, if you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? Why haven't you told them yet? What would you most regret not having told someone? I don't know. I've told a lot of people I'm pretty open now. I feel like I've told people all that I need to tell them. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing. I guess like I've been planning on having a more open dialogue with my parents about, race. That's really broad, but like Filipino culture and Filipino American culture is, it's just like there's a huge amount of anti-blackness in it, and like bigotry against um not purposefully for my parents, of course, but like it's just I was raised in a culture that was like very anti-brown, anti-black and brown, like not just Americans, but like people, like they're black and brown Filipinos. So I guess that I would regret not having been able to really open up a dialogue with them about that. Um, why haven't I told them yet? I just, yeah, wow, you got me, dude. Whoever wrote this question, you got me. Why haven't I talked to them yet? Because my sister and I and our cousin had a game plan, and it's on derailed at the moment. Not derailed, but like it's stopped because Meg hasn't been able to do anything yet, and I'm hesitant to move on without her. But I moved on with this without her, so I guess I could do that. But it's a lot to tackle alone. But that sounds like an excuse, doesn't it? Like I could just talk to them, schedule a time and talk to them. Wow, you got me. Yeah, I should think about that. I told my friend about this recently because she was like asking me like, "Hey, how?" Because we hadn't talked in a while, and she was like, "Hey, how are you?" This is one of the things I told her. Like, yeah, I'm just like thinking about having this dialogue with my family, and it's hard trying to navigate that. I think she thought it was a problem, though. I think she was like, why do you need, she sounded like a therapist. She was like, why do you feel the need to educate them? And then she talked about, she's also Asian. She talked about Asian American. She talked about like, how she educates, quote unquote, is like through practice and like being an example, which I'm usually like that. Like, that's how I am with my veganism. I don't really educate. I don't find the need to educate. And when she said that, I was like, you bring up good points and I appreciate your help. But the more I thought about it, I was like, I'm not actually wanting to educate. I just want to open a dialogue because it's been so unspoken in my culture. And I'm actually, it's not a problem. It's more of like, I want to have that uncomfortable conversation. I guess what I'm saying is there's no discomfort. If there's no discomfort, I'm just letting myself settle into like, oh, if there's no uncomfortable conversation, everything's fine, even though they constantly say things and support policies that are anti other Americans. So yeah, it's not like, it made me think, like her line of questioning made me think like, it's actually not a problem that I need to be solved. It is something I need to start doing. So, and I'll see you tomorrow. So talk some more about that. Okay, so your house containing everything you own catches fire. By house, if you mean my apartment in New York. After saving your loved ones and pets, I feel like the ones people hear, by loved ones you mean my roommates, and by pet you mean my roommate's pet. I feel like my roommate would have grabbed her pet and then they would all be running out with me. So I'm not going to worry about that. You have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item. What would it be and why? I had a similar question to this. I don't know when Meg and I talked about this last, but the question was like, what is your most valuable prized possession or something? And I don't have one. I don't care about shit. I don't care about material things really that much. Yeah, if all this shit burned down, like I could get other new ones, like my yoga. I think I said last time it was my yoga mat that I'm most prized, but that I can get a new one. I guess my phone is like the most valuable thing, or my wallet, like things that actually are connected to. But like even if my wallet burned, I would just get new credit cards. Like I don't even have cash. And then if my phone was lost in the fire, I could just buy a new phone. I don't know, dude. There's nothing I really need. Like the answer is nothing. Nothing. I guess I'm my own prized possession. Like, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm just not. I constantly, like, throughout the years I've been asked that question so many times in various forms, and I've always felt like oh wow, don't give a shit about anything. Like, what kind of a person am I that I don't have anything that I prize? But I know, now I'm okay with it. Like, there's something to be said about being, I hate to use the word minimalist, but like not putting a lot of stock in like a material thing, because like you put more stock in yourself and like your own mental and emotional well-being. I don't know. I mean, it's good to be sentimental, I guess, but I'm not a sentimental person in terms of like objects and stuff. So maybe I should, but I just never have been one of those people. Okay. Oh, it's the last one. Okay. Which is the one job in the world that you would love to do besides your current vocation? Or I added this in parentheses, besides your current vocation or what you're currently working towards, as in like, I work for a digital publishing company as my day job, but I'm working as an actor outside of that. Like that's the thing I'm working towards. So if I can't be what I'm currently am now or what I'm working towards, what would I be? What's the one job in the world you love? It's probably something else in the arts. I don't know. I just love the arts. I mean, dancing has always looked cool. I would never do it because I'm not graceful. And also, I just love acting so much. But it would either be dancing, or I actually really like singing, even though I'm not great at it. I would probably be like not just singing, but like a front woman for a band. See, all the vocations I want to pick are like not lucrative. Like I obviously don't care about money, you can tell. I guess like if I got famous as a front woman for a band, or like I could never be like a solo pop singer or like a solo singer. Like I'd had to be in a band format with a guitar in front of me. I just find that so awesome and cool and cathartic. Oh, I would love to be in a band, dude. Not you don't even have to be the front woman, like the bassist, whatever. Yeah, that would be my other job. I can't do a desk job. I mean, I am doing a desk job, but that couldn't be my other job. No. Or like a food eater, like Padma Lakshmi. Yeah, I would be that. I mean, I don't look like her. I don't look like a model. I would probably I was like not reading, but like watching an interview with her. Oh, yeah, it was a Hot Ones interview with her and Sean Evans. And she was talking about like tricks for like, you know, what he was like asking, like, what can I consume to help my digestion? Because she eats like a lot. She eats like 6,000 calories a day because she has to eat so many things for like Top Chef and like all her other shows and stuff. And she was just saying she has to like, when she has this concoction that she drinks, just watch it, it's on YouTube. But like the other thing she said was that she has to work so hard to like just maintain a healthy weight like at the gym because she has to eat so much. And if I had that job, I would not look like that. I would not have a healthy weight. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that would be my other ideal job if I didn't gain like, I don't know, 100 pounds doing it. Yeah. Cool. We finished that segment. It's over. Wow. Time flies when you're all alone. Okay, now we're gonna move on. Okay. Now we're gonna go on to what I'm loving this week. And I already mentioned one of them. It's Hamilton on Disney Plus. Hamilton is so good. I think the only other musical, okay, caveat, I'm not a musical person. Like I like straight theater or films or TV. Films and straight theater are my jam, but Hamilton like is up there. Like the only other musicals that stand toe to toe with it, I think, are Fun Home, Spring Awakening, and The Light in the Piazza. I've seen all of those, but not on Broadway. One of them I saw on Fun Home, I saw on the West End. But yeah, all of them I haven't seen on Broadway. And Hamilton, I have never seen live. It was really neat to see the Broadway production like in the comfort of my own home. I mean, I would love to see it live, but who knows what that'll be. It was just really cool. The acting was amazing. Lin-Manuel Miranda, while not a great singer, sometimes questionable acting, is a genius. He's like a fucking genius. The writing, the music, the raps, I don't know, the casting. It's just, and it's all people of color except for King George and like one white dude in the ensemble. Like, fuck. And a lot of these actors are so talented, and like people don't, well, now people know their names, but when that was filmed, like what, 4 years ago, people didn't know these people, and they had been steadily acting, like were working actors forever, and they're so talented and like immensely talented. So that was like such a blessing to see that. um it's not a perfect musical by any means. Like it doesn't include a discussion on slavery, which was huge part of the revolution and the founding fathers. Like the Schuyler family was a huge slave owning family. Like no, like there were like a couple throwaway mentions on slavery. It's like, but and like there's no way to like really reconcile that with, yeah, you're casting people of color but no discussion on people of color being owned. I mean, it's a huge glaring flaw in the musical, but people don't watch the musical for that. So that is interesting to watch it now in like the wake of like, you know, the not even the wake, in the midst of the resurgence of Black Lives Matter. Because like it makes it even more, makes that problem more stark where it wasn't necessarily like 4 years ago. But I think it's disruption this musical's disruption is in its casting and in its music. Like it really disrupts the whole genre of a traditionally white tradition. So that's I think where how much can you disrupt the story of the Revolutionary War? Like it's an inherently white story. It's inherently white. You can't. It's hard to you're going to be hampered by the conservatism of that story, but Lin-Manuel Miranda is a genius in the way he like disrupts it in these other ways that makes it elevated. So I'm saying don't watch it for class commentary because they say stuff like, oh, immigrants get the job done, but Hamilton was an immigrant, like a white immigrant from another white colony. I don't know, don't watch it for that. Watch it for the other things that I mentioned. And the women could have had better. No, the women were amazing. The women, Philippa Sue, Renee. What's her last name? Renee. Oh my God, Goldsberry. I thought it was like Goldsberry. Renee Goldsberry, Renee Elise Goldsberry, and Philippa Sue in particular were fucking amazing. But I wish they had bigger storylines. But again, you're hampered by the story of the founding fathers. It's an inherently white male story. But I would highly recommend this to anyone if you do further digging after you watch it. Don't just watch it and be like, oh, I am a woke person. Don't just watch it and stop there. Watch it, 100% recommend it, but then go into a further investigation is how I would frame that. The other, oh fuck, I hate myself for recommending this next one. But I've started watching Love is Blind because, Meg talked about it and then a bunch of my friends, and this was a long time ago that it was huge, so I'm really late. But I started watching it and I'm like, it's horrible. It's fucking manipulative. But how is that different from any other reality show? I'm not usually a reality show person, but fuck me. I'm sucked in. I'm fucking sucked in. I'm invested in how a lot of these people are, even though they're horrible. There's only one couple I care about, but I'm sucked in. There it is. And I'm probably gonna watch this after because it's the ultimate I hate life right now show, because then it forces you to be like, at least we have this mind-numbing entertaining thing to watch. That's me. And I put, this is from last week, but again, the podcast was not recorded properly, so I'm going to say it again. Nice cream is so good. I rediscovered it because I didn't have any dessert in my freezer, but I had a bunch of frozen bananas. Blended it with just a touch of almond milk, a tablespoon of cocoa powder, and I didn't even need sugar. It was so good. I know it sounds healthy. Trust me, it does not taste healthy. It tastes decadent as fuck. Just make it. At least you kind of feel better a little bit that it's not ice cream, right? I don't know. But yeah, that's my other thing that I'm loving this week. Okay. Quote of the day / week. It's by this guided meditation person / writer. So her name's Sarah Blondin. She has these wonderful guided meditations that sound like poetry. They are poetry, honestly, from this podcast called Live Awake. And she has really wonderful guided meditations. And there's this one quote from her Instagram that I believe is in one of our meditations too. But so the quote says, "An animal caught in a trap will lash out if you try to let them loose, for they feel powerless in the face of life. They have become victim of circumstance and are unable to see that the thing that has hurt them can also set them free." I love that quote because it's scary. It's scary to be challenged by things that make you uncomfortable. Like right now, I feel shitty because someone really close to me said something that hurt me. basically what they said was that the way I've been talking to them has hurt them and have made them spiral back into a way of thinking. Basically, I felt like a villain. I felt like I was the cause of their self-destruction, or, impending self-destruction, as they made it sound. And I feel like shit. And I just want nothing more than just to not, I'm going to cry just saying right now. I want nothing more than to just repress those feelings and just eat more of that croissant that I didn't finish and watch Love is Blind and not feel it and just numb myself from this feeling. And it hurts a lot. And I believe that I'm not 100% in the wrong. So she has a point, but I also, have, it's a very nuanced conversation. But like what this quote is saying, it's here for this circumstance is challenging me for a reason. And it's easy to be a victim. She says victim of circumstance. It's easy to be victimized by it and be like, well, what am I going to do about it? Like, this is how she thinks of me. And like, I'm just going to just wallow in my sorrow. It's easy to just think that. But, and then she says, the thing that has hurt them can also set them free. This is an opportunity for me to really investigate, like, why did she say that? What, like, like even now, I didn't even do a full dive into this thing yet, but even now I'm just like, yeah, there is a grain of truth to what she's saying. I never even like really asked her what she's going through, and instead just assumed a lot of things. But also it brings the point that you should have open lines of communication with this person, because then she's also assuming things about you, like you didn't tell her anything about how you're feeling. So see, now I'm able to set myself free from this feeling of depression by like just further investigating what this circumstance can bring to me, like what clarity it can bring me. Of course our feelings are valid. Like I can feel like shit and like, cry for a little bit and like, watch Love is Blind for a little bit, but then like, what are you going to do after that? What are you going to do after that? So I didn't expect this quote to like actually have direct relevance to what I'm experiencing today, but it does. But like anything in life, like what I said earlier, like when I was 18, I was very much a victim of circumstance. I didn't really take ownership of what was happening to me, but now that's the difference. I know that if I'm in a trap, I have the power to get out of that trap. So yeah, props, Sarah Blondin. Honestly, listen to her guided meditations, Live Awake, on and anywhere I think that you can find podcasts. I know she's on Stitcher. She's also on YouTube, some of her stuff. I think SoundCloud too. She's wonderful. And they're very digestible. They're like 10 minutes or like 20 minutes. I think 20 minutes is like the longest one. So yeah, guys, thank you for like listening to all of that. I actually am glad I didn't cry in this episode. I think it's because I cried earlier. And I also ate that chocolate croissant. It was fucking amazing. Anyway, have a good weekend/week, and we'll see what happens next week. I don't know if Meg is going to be back. We'll see. I don't really know. Or maybe we'll have a guest. I need to get in touch with people. But if you want to be a guest, let me know. Yeah, and my socials, the podcast socials will be below as well if you have any answers to these questions. So looking forward to talking to you guys next week. Bye.